here. Okay, back again. Got my box of, if I can hit the right thing. Got my other box of fans. This is some more. That's kind of my official fan box where I usually keep all my fans. I had to go get it up out of the shelf, and so I kind of glanced through it, but I don't think I got anything exactly the right size like I thought. Well, let's go in there and check it out and see what I can find. Let me get my mic switched over. Okay. Oops. Got both of them there. Having to roll up and down to see all the mics. I wanted to see if that one was working, and then I had to roll back up again to. Okay, but I'm stubborn about leaving my preview big enough to see it good. Okay, now let me listen to my audio. I didn't do that yet. I see the pictures, what I want. And okay, but I'm stubborn about leaving. Okay. Yeah, I've got my wireless mic working good, and setting that gain in I'd forgotten that I had done that originally, and those settings didn't come through with the import of the old settings. But let me get a drink. And I just leave that preview playing so I can see when I need to what's going on. So I've got my CPU paste out, and let's put it over here out of the way for now. Oh, magnifying glass, put that back over there. I took it off there because I was moving that laptop back and forth. I didn't want it falling off. Okay, so what I'm hoping for is a fan, you know, that would fit that. And I have those others that will, but they're 4-pin, and even if I wanted to try to hang one pin off and plug in just 3, if I could figure out the right ones, because you can't just go by color codes. Not all the manufacturers use the same color codes. In computers, it's a little better than other things usually, but you gotta, anyway, it won't go because of the capacitor in the way down there. So it ain't happening. So I've thought about these, but one of those, oh, those are new. I bought a pack of 3 for, I needed a new fan for the video card on one of these computers, Mom's, and it was like just a little bit more, not even $1 more to buy 3 of them as it was to buy one. So I bought a pack of 3. But I just remembered, I was thinking maybe I could use one of them. They're actually only 2-pin. They're too small to fit on there, I think, and they're too narrow and probably smaller diameter. Looks like it, and they run on 5 volts anyway. So they're going to run. They would not handle 12 volts. I don't think they'd burn up in no time. Sure would spin fast, wouldn't they? Okay, so that parts. Another fan shroud. I wonder if that'd fit my van. Okay, more parts. Bunch of metal sliders. These are hard. These slider things are hard drive mounts for an old. I had a 386 that had the coolest slide-in, slide-out hard drive mounts, and some of those are other miscellaneous things. But anyway, I saved those out thinking I would use them in other places one day. And that's the front cover that broke off of a computer out in the garage, or a case. Oh yeah, that case. I kind of like that case, and I think it's a really old motherboard that's in it. I don't remember what it was. I don't even think it's not a Pentium 4. It's before that. I think it's 750 megahertz, something or other. Okay, so I think got hung on the fins. Got hung on parts down there. Yeah, you see, this is a regular size, and that's only a 2-pin. Anyway, but see how much bigger they are? I haven't got it. Yeah, you can see how much. I was thinking, well, maybe you could only put in 1 screw. It'd probably end up rattling. And it might start, well, if you put it, you'd have to put it that way, so, because you put the blades down, which might be the way you want it anyway. If it pushes or pulls, I don't know if it would make a lot of difference. But that was the one thing I was thinking, well, maybe I could do that. But let's see what else we got. So all these are that size. That one says, good fan, E-machines, AS Rock. That's a 3-pin. So that's a possibility. not ideal, but the other one doesn't have a label on it. I think it works. Usually I put something on it if it's bad or whatever, you know, to let me know. So I'm gonna, and what's in here? These have got notes all over them. Cleaned it, so on. It's the wrong size anyway. Here is one that, yeah, I believe this one's pretty much, was too little. It's too little. See, that was one that used to be, oh, that's a different one. Now maybe it is the one I used for years, and it got to where it wouldn't work very good. I don't know why I don't have a note on it. There's a couple of heat sinks. Yeah, if you've got old computers around, see, save those heat sinks, man. Those things cost a lot of money. I sawed that one in half and used it on my Raspberry Pi, that yellow one. But and here's the old one out of Mom's. That thing cut the living crap out of me. I kept trying to see. I touched it to try to stop it, see how if it was weak. Well, I got the blades, and I didn't. And those are very, very sharp. They're plastic, but they're still sharp. Anyway, I learned. I tried to. I say I learned not to do that, but depends on how well I remember. Bushing came out. This one came apart. Okay. I still save them because you might get to the point where you don't got anything any better, or parts, you know. Sometimes. What's this one? I just pulled it out of there. Cleaned. Okay, cleaned and moved it. Make noise very slow. IBM think. I've got a long note, all the different things I tried it in. Sometimes they fool you. See, then I put it in again and it worked well, quiet. Maybe after I cleaned it. Should be okay is the last thing I wrote. Okay. I think I was going around and around about this one. Well, I think I saw something in there about the machine I had it in may have turned, it said very slow, but the machine I had it in may have slowed it down because of the settings in the BIOS. That's what it looked like I said there. I was just trying to skim, so that's one of the bad bushings. All right, so yeah, I'm ending up with, I've got good used fans in there with bad used fans now, so I have to just look through them all. Let's see. Okay, good fan, yeah. This one's probably okay. Okay, now there's another one down there that's one of those big ones, and I think it went bad. Or either I may have something else in the box. Let's see. No, yeah, I do. Maybe that's the box it came in. These were really cool design, but you could put them in a PCI slot. You know, I mean, they don't go in the slot. You just put it out, blowing out there. And these old desktops that didn't stand up, they didn't have much room. Going bad makes noise. That's what I thought. But I bought 2 or 3 of those new, and they really didn't last very long before they started making noise. It was aggravating. I think the way they're made, they're just. Yeah, the box is really for something else, I think. The way they're made, I think they just couldn't. They got too much crap in them, and it's really hard to blow them out. See, in there, out there. I kind of thought that if you could take them apart, I got to think about that recently because I got a noisy fan on my Dell Pt35 laptop. I thought, I wonder if I took that apart, could I get the fan to quit making noise, because it's not like slowing down and acting up. Now, that's a bigger one. That's not as big as some of the, whatever they are, the really big ones. Okay, now this one probably works. It looks like I just added a adapter to it. That one says needs to be cleaned, and it's just a regular. Oh, that's a heatsink fan, but it's too big for that. It's a CPU fan. Needs to be cleaned and lubricated. Sometimes that's all there is wrong with them, but sometimes the bearings just, I mean, the motors just do finally get so weak they're no good anymore. So I'm going to leave that box like it is. Let's see. Whenever, I'll probably be able to put all my other ones. 1, 2, 3. This is the only one that I have a possibility of using. Okay, so I'll leave the one that came out of there over there so I don't get things mixed up. Yeah, I might put all my other fans in here too. It's kind of the way it used to be. Okay, so put that off to the side now. Oh, there's stuff over there. Let's put everything in there that I don't want to grab it up and take it outside and then go, oh crap, I forgot half of this stuff laying on the bed. Let's see. Trying to figure. Yeah, the way I have this metal in there, I think is a good way to do it like that. These other things can go whatever way they fit the best. I think I'll put this plastic in here instead of having it just. Nah, it'll be too hard to get open on them with full of it. Let's see. Right there, right there. This other fan can lay on top. This new fan stuff. There we go. That's good for now. Maybe I don't have as much room in that box. Now what I'm thinking is maybe, let's get this out of the way. Maybe, it's the only way I'm going to have a fan for this thing, is to put this on here and just put a screw in one corner. I mean, it's only one. That's it. There's no way with that like it is. But I mean, it would be powerful. It should be plenty powerful and everything. As long as it didn't make noise, I could probably put a couple of zip ties around the whole thing. I hate doing things that way. But I don't have anything else, and like I said, I really don't want to be spending money on it anyway. So I may do it. I've never had to do it. I've always had, as you see, I kind of try to keep enough old, new or old parts around to. That's the one that was on there. I think that's the way it was on there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way it was on there. It fits right because it's made for it. So, that other fan guard I have, this one doesn't fit on here. It fits that one. Oh, I took my other box out. See, just like I said, I took my other box outside without putting these. Can't quit hitting that camera. Without putting these back in it. They really kind of don't. Well, that box is not even labeled yet. It was just sitting on the desk, and it's got a mix match of parts. So, mishmash, something like that. So, but this one's a 3-pin. Let's see if it'll plug in like I think it will. It should. Because I would definitely want to plug it in. That's the reason it's the, #1 candidate here. So, but before I go any further, I want to try and confirm that that fan really is bad, because I've been fooled several times lately with fans, thinking they were bad, and they weren't. Where is it? So I'm going to plug it in. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plug it into, actually I think I'll plug it into the other slot over here, because I won't be able to get near that fan with it in its normal slot with that. And you see, it's had time to cool down now. It's been a good while. So I can set this in here some way like that. Set this on there like I did a while ago. And turn it on for a little while, without burning up the processor, I think. Just kind of make sure that's sitting good on there. Okay, now let's kind of hope that fan, hold on to that fan so it doesn't turn over when it starts getting power. It was making some noise when it first started up. I should have unplugged the hard drive so I knew. This is how you test them to see how weak they are, and it's also how you get yourself hurt. You don't touch them in the right place. That's awfully weak. But you know, they're all a lot weaker than you'd think they would be, or at least these smaller ones are. Now the hard drive's making noise. That fan. Can I set it up there? Let it run for a while. I meant to, the cable's right next to it. I really want it right there. I should have unplugged the hard drive so I don't have any other noise. It's making noise. It could be, I'm thinking, what if they're both making noise, you know? I haven't lubricated it or anything, but if you lubricate them half the time, I mean, I'd do it, but I would do it before I put it back, just as a matter of cause. Put a little WD-40 on it, but like I was saying, it kind of helps. But, forgot what I was going to say. It's kind of hated to hard shut it down while it was. I was kind of listening to it, see if it sounded like it was finished booting up. At least wait till then. The harder I get to, even the more bad my mind gets to forget everything. So the hard drive's not making a lot of noise right now. This fan is making zero noise right now. But sometimes when they're in their place, they make noise. Let's see. Oh, I know what I was fixing to do. I'll do that thing. Well, there's no point in that. I can hear it good enough. I'll just stick the mic up there next to it. I was going to do what I did a while ago. I just can't really get that mic off with one hand. It's the hardest clip to. I guess that's good. It won't. It never has fell off. But when I want to do something like that, I can't get it to do it. But you see, that's probably not making much noise in there. Let's go around the other side. Now I'll put the metal against it. Put the head in the way. Oh no, I didn't. I'm starting to wonder if that's really, I don't know how, well I mean if the hard drive was actually making so much noise that it was radiating back through all this metal, you know, it's the only way I can figure. It ain't making noise, so I think I fooled myself. I'm learning recently that you can easily fool yourself about these fans. So I think I can shut it down now and unplug the hard drive. It's making a little bit of noise, but not anything bad. Oh, now it's making, no it ain't. There we go. The hard drive was making noise as it was shutting down, and it's making the noise that I've been hearing. I'm still going back, right back towards the hard drive again. Unplug it, turn it back on. That's not, well it's warm, but it's not too warm yet, I don't think. Oh, now the fan's making noise. Well, I won't touch it. There it is. Now that's, hard drive is noisy and it could be getting ready to wear out. Set it on top of there. I think it radiates through that mic. That's the noise I've been hearing. Yeah. Yep, it is the fan. Okay, good. No hard drive, it's not even plugged in. So, and this is plugged in, but it's not. That would be something if it was making all that noise. I never heard one make a noise like that. If it was making noise, you could pop it out and pop it back in and it would usually quit. It doesn't want to pop out and pop back in. Well, let's unplug it. Make sure. It's the fan, I can just tell. But you think you can tell where it's coming from, and you're wrong. Yeah, okay, nothing's plugged in but the hard drive. Well, of course, this one, with that much noise, see, with it sitting there, it radiates through the case, and it fools you. See, now it doesn't echo like that. Well, I had it leaning up against the side of the case, too. It sounds different right there than it does over there. Okay. Yeah. So see, that's a good way to find out. I didn't do that on purpose, really. I just set it there because I needed Okay, no hard drive in it now, so it won't matter. Now I'm going to unplug it. So that's a bad fan. Okay, now the only thing plugged in is this one. It's getting pretty warm, so I ain't going to run it much longer. Oh, yeah, it's not making any noise at all now because, well, that one. Yeah, it's running and it's super quiet. Not a big air mover, but it works. And the thing never got hot before, so can't even tell when it goes off. That's a bad fan. Okay, so if my hard drive, let's leave the hard drive unplugged until I'm done dealing with the fan. Then I'll plug that stuff back in. Because what I'm going to have to do is this. I mean, I could go try to find one off of one of these other machines, but let's see. It's getting to be too much work. I'm going to try this first. It's hot out there. I don't want to be out there any longer than I have to anyway. This one, I need to see if it works. Oh, that's the first thing. Test it out. Let's make sure it's not super loud. Yeah, I mean, I might go out there and find another machine with the right size. I don't want to take it out of one that runs good, really. But I could take it out of one that, I may have one that I'm not thinking about that's, well, like that gray box, it's got a motherboard in it, and it could have a fan that size in it, and that's not one I would want to use. I think I already robbed some of the good parts out of it anyway. I think I might have robbed the power supply. Yeah, that gray box that piece came out of, I robbed the power supply out of it, so it can't run anyway. Now this one, this time I'm going to plug, this has got a long cable, plug it into where it would be going, and I can put it wherever I want. Get a little light on this subject there. A little light and magnification if I can. At least some light. Did I get it? Yeah. So if I'm going to check, these are the same type of plug, so it should be, if it's wired normally, black, red, black, black, red, white, black, red, black, black, red, white. They are wired the same. Okay, now let's, cools off pretty quick. Never done this before, really. I'm really a little leery about, well, I'm afraid I'll forget how long I'm doing it. Is it running? Oh, that fan is laying down. I was trying not to get into it because I thought saw it starting up. Dropped it. I didn't get into it. Okay, that one works. It's not a big blower, but it's not making a lot of noise. I can hear it. Of course, I did just drop it. It's not real quiet. Let's put it over here like I did that other one and see if it radiates through the machine. It's really not a real quiet fan. I can see there's no sticker on the back, so I've cleaned it. I've taken it apart and cleaned it. Yeah. It is spinning nice. I mean, no problem with that. But it's going to have to lay like that. It'll actually be in there like that. On this thing. I was going to set it there when I dropped it earlier, and then I realized, well, I can't really do that. And I dropped it. But trying to change my mind. Now it's not really making noise. Well, the same. When you set it down on the anywhere on the case, set it down up here. See if I get closer to it, I can tell. Well, I can hear it. Yeah, it's making noise whether it's touching anything or not. No matter which way you turn it. So it's definitely not the best fan ever. It's hard to fiddle with that without getting yourself into it. I don't like that fan. It's going to just sit there. This thing runs 24/7. This may not. I mean, there's no point in putting it all back together with a fan that's not worth the crap. Getting it up in there, getting it all hooked up. Especially since I got my backup server running, as long as it runs okay. I either find a good fan or, well, I think this hard drive, it's making an awful lot of noise. I kept thinking maybe it's time to switch boxes, you know, switch machines for my server. I just don't want one that's noisy and loud. Noisy, well, noisy and loud. Noisy and loud and heat, makes a lot of heat. I haven't ever seen one that was this powerful, 2.5 gigahertz, that made a little heat. And, of course, it's only got one hard drive. That's one thing that makes a big difference. And I guess those Celeron's always said they ran a lot cooler. I guess they really do. I had a Dell 2.4 gigahertz Celeron that I bought brand new, and it was a dog. It wouldn't do no work at all. And this one is really, but if you just let it be a server and don't try to get it to do a lot. Of course, you can't compare now because that was running an XP on it, on the Dell back in the day, and that's a, you know, 256 megabytes, plenty of memory for that. I mean, Fit 512 is fantastic. It was back in the day. And now I've got 2 gig in here and running a Fedora server with XFCE desktop, and you can open up the web browser, but can't play videos or anything, and you can search, but it's slow. And oh yes, it's getting really hot. See, I knew how to keep. I'd end up forgetting. Okay, it's off. I'll unplug it after it's off. Okay, so let that cool down. Just leave it all sitting there and let it cool down. Let me go back to my box. I don't think I had another one that was a 3-pin that looked like it was a decent enough one to even use, you know. I'm banging into the mic stand that's holding the. See, that was one. This one has a light on it, but it's one that I'm thinking is pretty iffy. It is a 3-pin. What's this other one? That one's just two wire. When this doesn't have a connector on it, it's been cut off. Must have been robbed for something else. And what do we got here? Okay. Put this back in its box it came out of. I read all about it pretty much. It's not really what a choice that I would want to make. These others, well, I know they were acting up. This one is a 2-pin. I wouldn't put that on there, I don't know, because, you know, the 3-pins, I think the power supply just turns them on and off. With the 4-pins, it can speed them up and slow them down. I think that's the real difference, and that's a 2-pin. That one said it needs cleaning. Oh, yeah, and that's only a 2-pin. That was a power CPU cooler, but it's only a 2-pin. That's a 2-pin. Those two probably work good, but they're not the what the technology you need. I need, you know. They don't have the. So really, the only other choice now is that got pretty warm. Oh, they got very, very warm. See, without the fan, so it transferring with it nice and clean. It transfers the heat pretty good. I can hardly pick it up. Got to pick it up so that I can unplug it. Works good, but noisy. I need a new note on this one. Well, I've got a good fan. Oh, I see. Came out of the S-Rock. That's why I took it out, I guess, whenever I disassembled. I took everything out of the box because I wasn't planning on using it. But, makes noise. These fans are black, so you can't see any writing that you put on them. So I stick these sticky notes on them, but some, you know, if you're not careful, you'll lose the sticky notes, which fan they go with. I'm sure I've done that before. But Not sure where to put everything anymore. I'll put it down in the bottom. And that is a CPU cooler horn. Oh, that's the one that was on the one that makes so much noise. I took it off because it was like a bugle. It made it twice as loud. It goes on the Red Black Bio store. Now this one, I think I'll just plug it in and see what it does. I may have to let this cool down some more. It really got hot. It may be better than the other one. It's 3. Get in there somewhere to where maybe that is, boy, that got hot. I knew it would if I'd have kept leaving it. Okay. Well, I'm over here working out of the camera, and the whole point of making a video is to show or tell. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, now we're back in the picture. There. Okay, so I plugged this one in. This is cooling off. I figured the processor's just about that hot too, but it isn't. No, it's not near as hot as that is. It works. It does its job. It pulls all the heat. So this one was in a machine that I took it out of. It was, I mean, it's all discolored from being dirty for a long time. But it has lights, and I think it says on the note that they work. So, it's the only way I think that's about the best thing I got to kind of help cool this thing, is to set it on that fan box there. And I don't want to turn it on without this setting on there, but if it's that hot, I don't think it's going to do a lot of good. I think I'll look at this note again and read it. Need a drink here. Oh, how funny. I grabbed the wrong mouse. Oh, I see what happened. I grabbed the wrong mouse and was shaking it, trying to wake up the laptop, and it woke it up. Well, that's because the cable on it was hitting the other mouse. I was like, what? I grabbed the wrong mouse. Okay. There we go. And I really have the sound too. Oh, it's up all the way. I thought it was too loud. The sound was too loud on my laptop when I was checking stuff. Okay, let's see. I hope well, I'll either sleep well tonight or I'll be too tired and I'll be hurting. I've been crawling up and down and doing everything. I'm pretty tired. Okay, neck's kind of hurting. Back's hurting a little bit too. Doesn't take much anymore. Wear me out. All right, let's see. Cleaned it and lubed it, but still make noise. Oh, very slow in IBM Think Center. Oh, okay, 8085. I had it in here. Guess I put it in as a case fan. But could be the fan control as fan speed light works so good for. Could be the fan control as fan speed. I didn't write that right. As fan speed light works and good for parts. Tested in E-machines, worked well. Quiet, not as much airflow as some other fans, though. Should be okay. All right, so let's just see if it makes noise or not. Maybe I put some kind of lubricant in it. Yeah, I can see I had it apart. Maybe I put some kind of lubricant in it that I might have went to putting Rust Buster in them. I can't remember. I think I remember the machine that came out of. There was a machine that old friend I used to have. I built him a brand new machine system, you know, computer system out of a, bought a part like I used to do, Parts Express kit, you know, bare bones kit from not Parts Express, Tiger Direct. And Parts Express, I used to get other stuff from there. But anyway, He paid about $500 for that. No, what did he pay? He paid $1,000 for that whole kit, and I kept telling him he could get the same exact. It was a Pentium 4. I said you can get the same thing for about $500, but he liked the looks of the box and the lights on it. It had a lighted fan, and I think this is the fan, and it went out. I had to get another one. I got another one. He brought it over here again, and I ordered one and put it in. You know, okay, that's cooled off enough now. So that's long enough to put anywhere. Let's put it, yeah, let's put it up there. Well, kind of like it down there. No, up here. Okay, now, where's my cable? I lost my power. Okay. Let's plug you in. It may come on. Sometimes it comes on, sometimes it doesn't. One of the way up with me turning it on and off like that. There it did. It just takes a lot longer than you think. Oh, how strange. The fan started spinning, and it quit. Now it's spinning again, the light's on. It's just barely moving. So I don't know, maybe it's not so great. Maybe it really depends. The fan started spinning, and it quit. Maybe it's because the CPU is cooled down enough. It may be speed controlled. Now it's going a little faster. You can still kind of see the blades. I guess that light makes you be able to see the blades. It's not making any noise. I mean, you can hear it there, but it's not grindy like those others. Let's put it down in here. Let's see. Try to do this without. This thing may get a light. It won't matter because you won't be able to see it with this closed up box. You might see that blue shining out of the front of it though. Well, now, I guess anything you're going to put down there against the bottom of the case, you're going to hear it. I think with it on there, yeah, I don't hear it sitting there. The other one I did, not as loud as over there, but maybe this is my candidate. Put it up here, but try not to stick it in there. Okay, yeah, this might be it. But I am still worried about this hard drive. But it's making quite a bit of noise. You know, I have a 30 gig hard drive that I was thinking about putting in here. I hate to put it in there though. Well, the 2 hard drives makes more heat, but I hate to put it in there and then say I want it. Of course, if I put it in here, I can get it out without pulling the machine out. I can get it out by just taking this off. But, so what I could do, well, you still have to take the cover off, but all you'd have to do is unplug this. If I wasn't going to use it anymore, I could, of course I'd really want to take it off so that I could fiddle with it. But I could leave it in, what I was thinking is I could leave it in here, unplug it, and just install Fedora 23 on here. I mean 28 on here. I was thinking I might use that 30 gig hard drive because I hate to, this one's an 80 gig and there's a lot of space I didn't need in there. I ended up kind of backing some things up in there and stuff, but it always forget it's over there, you know. I think that's going to work. That one's okay. That'll do. Okay. So let's turn it off before it gets hot again. You can tell when it's on and off now. Might be a nice thing. And it shouldn't shine too much to bug me or anything. Now all I got to do, that's a long enough cable, I don't even have to unplug that. Ooh, it got hot again. I got to figure out how I can mount it. Yeah, I don't care. I think it was set up to push through this. But push or pull shouldn't make a heck of a lot of difference. And I'm not going to turn it with the blades towards that because it's going to get. There's only one screw that I can put on it. So the only other thing is which one do I want to do? This one or this one? I think this one because there's really not anything in the way over here, but we're pretty close to that. I don't think it would hit it either way, but I have just a feeling that I want it like that. I don't know why. Okay. Maybe that's the only way it really wants to go down on there. Now where's all those screws? I got plenty now, if they're long enough. Okay, just one screw is all I can do. Yeah, I think it's going to work. Did it go off of its spot? Yeah, drop it down in there. That's always special. Get this other one. I know it's got a pretty good magnet on it. Maybe I shouldn't do that over the machine, you think? Let's get that out of there. Find it. You don't want a screw rattling around in your computer with all those open things that could short out. And it didn't go anywhere where I could see it. Where did you go? Doggone it. I think I'm going to have to kind of move the box around and to end up finding it. Now I've lost the screwdriver. Well, I didn't lose it. Dropped it. I had me a snack while I was taking my break, and it feels like it's already wearing off. Let's see. Well, I think I can just lay that there. That gets hung up every time. It makes you think it's a magnet or something. It's just that there's so many things sticking out there. It didn't move. It could have already been underneath the motherboard. I've had them go underneath the motherboard and had a heck of a time getting them out. I heard it rattle that last time. Come on. If that wasn't such a rat's nest of cables, I wouldn't have moved it, because half the time you get in worse shape doing that. But it was, so I did. Now let's see what I've done to myself. Let's see. Oh man, come on. Just one little screw, just dropped it right straight down in there. Guess I should have done that to start with. You would think it would rattle around and want to come out, wouldn't you? Oh yeah, you got a loose fan in there. There, I heard it. Where are you, little screw? I probably made it go under the motherboard. If I had to take the motherboard out, I probably wouldn't do it. I'd probably, well, I'd do it, but sort of say I'd go to another machine. But, oh, there it is. Finally. Where'd you go now? I probably shouldn't have tilted it again. I thought if I tilted, there it is. Okay. I tilted it to where I could get it with my little fingers, finally. You are a bad boy. Okay, let's see. How are we going to do this? So now all the cables that I had so nice and neat up there are everywhere. See, I had them all set up there. See, the IDE goes in there where the hard drive goes. And then the power cable for that goes up there. And I could get to that without having to open the box. That was my system I had going there. That worries me. There. There's 2 SATAs. Wow. That got all tangled up. This is the ones that belong like that. Alright, that goes like that. That goes like that. Now, can I do this? Put you right here. Let's put it over here this time. And, because, oh no, let's don't do that at all. It's long enough. This was what I was going to do. That way if I drop my screws again or anything, they'll land, hopefully just land on the table. That little piece of metal is weird. It was bending down. When I started doing that, it started bending down. I was like, what am I breaking? Let's see. I think I want the cable like that, or that's going to make that cable be right on the, let's see, yeah, I think I want to turn it so that the cable is not on the hot part there. So I'm going to turn it around like this. But I will use that corner probably. I may have to find some special custom screw that's long enough and the right size. Because I don't know if this one's long enough or not. I think it's not long enough for this fan. But there's still another thing I might be able to do. So these fans are, that won't go in there, but I've got smaller ones. I don't know if that'll work or not. It might. I'm going to put it in like this. And then I got to get something that'll, a screwdriver that's small enough to go in there and drive it. Which, let's see, yeah, I've got a few choices. Got those, but I got some other ones I think are better for that. Let's try this one. Let's see, there we go now. Get it started nice and straight. If it doesn't hit something, I'll be all right. I just don't know if it's gonna, you know, rattle with one screw in it. Oh, I may really try putting some. I got that in there backwards from the way I want it. That's gonna put the blades where they can hit that. Dadgummit. Thought something looked funny. Come out of there. There. So, like I said, I think I want to turn it in some way that it's not. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm sure with all the screws I have, I could find something, but if this works, I will not have to spend forever looking for one. So. I mean, it fits the metal, it's already made for that. That sure is loose. Did I pick the wrong one to try to use for the single? Yes, I did. Oh, that's not tight. Where's it go? Oh, huh. That's weird. It's kind of like it's a snap together thing or something. I hope that having one screw doesn't make it end up being really loose. But you can't put it that way. You've got to either pick this one or that one. Either one of them will raise up, so it doesn't matter. All right, well, let's see what happens. This could be a fail, as everybody likes to say on the internet. Let's see, maybe I can see it better like that. It's like my screw doesn't want to get started. Maybe that thing is moved from where it belongs or something. That the part where I'm trying to go and it, you know, it raised up and all that. No, I think it's started now. Just such a long screw. Maybe slipping. It could be that it's only going to go so far. And if I've got any screws that are shorter that would go in there, they might not be in here. They might be out of in the garage in my box of stuff. I think maybe this screwdriver's got too small of a head on it. Let's see if this one's any bigger. Yeah, that one's bigger. These are some good screwdrivers, but I never used them much outside, so I put them in here. Sometimes I forget I have them, though. I think it's hit is what it is. Can't tell. It's just spinning. That's for sure. It looks like it's getting shiny. It's like I'm just spinning in the, I don't know. That's a bigger screwdriver head than I thought it was. Screw head than I thought it was. Let's see. Oh. These screwdrivers don't really go in that. that one barely does. It's like a different, basically a different size than those little screwdrivers. Let's see what these are like. That won't go in there, and this one, you know, it's just too big to go in through that plastic hole. Wait, it does go in there. Didn't realize it would make it. Let's see if it fits. The head, the screw head. I think it does, but it may be at the bottom of what it's going to do. Yep, I think it is. Now I can feel it tightening up. So I guess the others worked until it got close to the bottom, and then... Ooh! I get sharp pains in my joints and stuff all the time now. So I need one that's that size. Let's see if I can figure one out. See if I can find one. One that's that size. I got calipers out in the garage, but I might be able to just size them up. And I want that kind of thread too. It's really like sheet metal screws is what it's like. They're smaller than your regular case screws and all that. Wouldn't have to be the sheet metal thread, but be better. Yeah. There's one that's a possibility. Or is it? It's a machine thread though, but you can in plastic. Well, that's metal. It's going into. They're gonna quit rolling. I can't get them to size up to each other. It's pretty close. So let's put them like that for now. I got another one over here. Another thing of screws. It might have something more odd like that. Wasn't sure which one to look in. Got some more of those screws, those exact kind of screws. I got some a little different. That one's a little shorter, but not shorter enough, I don't think. Here's one that's bigger of that style. Some black tape that I guess I must have used it once and thought I didn't want to throw it away, and I saved it. And then it stays around in the way for years because I don't want to use it because it's used. But if you're out of black tape, then what do? You use that. Finally. Okay. Dang it. It's just like I thought. I know I have lots more screws outside. What about one of these that's a little bit shorter? What I usually do is find one with the right thread and then cut it off because I get tired of looking for them. Especially with, I do that almost all the time with those wood screws. But if it's a machine screw, I don't do that much because it's just too hard to get them to thread again, you know. And if it's something like this, well, I don't usually, there's wood screws right there, too big. But a couple of them. I was looking more at the black ones. I wasn't paying much attention to the silver ones. No, I think that's too big. Let's get it and see. It might be if it's long enough and if it's not too big. Let's try it and see if it'll go in there. I think it's too big. Let's try it in that spot and see. It's too big and the wrong thread, I think. So that wasn't good. Okay. There's I think another one of that first kind I pulled out. Let's try one of those and see. They're machine threads, but they're about the right length. And if it'll go in there and hold, then it would be all right. It's completely, I think it's too big. I think that's another one. Guess I had, I try to keep like screws in the same container, but sometimes that don't happen. But yeah, those were matching screws. Okay. Guess I should take out some of this extra junk. It's making me not be able to see them. There. There's some kind of special screw that's in tape over there. It actually says what it is. Needs filing. Oh, okay. I guess it was one I didn't want to get rid of. Needs the filing and needs filed by a file to clean up the threads. That's what it needs. There's something interesting. It's a standoff, but it's got some pretty good sized threads. Standoff for your motherboard kind of thing. I don't think it would work. There's a weird one, but I think it's too big. Yeah, it's too big, I think. It might be the right. Actually, maybe it's not. I remember those. They were in something. They held a. Oh, I think they held like a CD drive in something, and they were so hard to work with because they have a weird head on them. And I took them out of the machine it was in. Okay, let's see if it would work. I'll have to get. It's a slot head and a hex head combination. Well, I can do it with my fingers right there. There we go. No, it won't go in there. So I'm not having any good luck. My screws that I have in here, I'm getting to where I would use anything that would fit. Just one, that's all I'm looking for, just one. Let's try one of the other screws that I haven't been wearing down at all in a different hole. See if that would make any difference. I don't think there's anything in that one. If there's anything in that other one, I'll look in it again. I mean, I'll look again if I have to. I'm getting hungry. Getting tired of this game. Hungry for my supper. That's because it's almost 6 o'clock. This game is no fun anymore. I wanted to get done with it today, but I guess that's looking more and more like that ain't happening. Oh, those things, see, they're not really meant for them to go any further than what that fan would let them go. You know, they stop, they hit stuff. Usually that is the case. That one's sticking up like crazy now. How come? Did I bend it or something? This other one is a whole lot lower. Oh. Ah, there we go. See, yeah, I ran that screw down and it was bringing it up, and I didn't know it. Now it's all the way down, and this other one's up a little bit. Oh, it's just loose. So yeah, that ain't gonna go in either side, obviously. I don't want to cut these off. I may need them if I end up getting a real. A lot of times you buy a fan, you don't get no screws with them, you know. If I did buy a fan, I don't want to ruin my screws that are made just for that thing. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, there's another one of those ones that I took it and put it in the other one. That's probably what I've been doing, back and forth, back and forth. Looks like that if I really want a screw for that, I'm gonna have to look in all my screws in the garage. I saw one that might have been the right size, and let's see, I'm getting confused. Okay, that goes on there. I have them color-coded with a little piece of tape. There we go, black on that one. And that's the ones that are not just the common computer screws. There are all kinds of stuff in there. They're not just the common, I don't know what to say. These are a lot of fan screws and some oddball screws. You know. Gotta get all this junk out again. This one is one of the ones I was thinking of, but that doesn't fit it. I was thinking maybe it's actually long enough to go through the whole thing. If it would fit it, it would be great. It doesn't, well, it does kind of go in there. I'll see if how long it sticks through the yeah, that's probably the only one I've got. Oh, one of these pointy ones that were a little shorter. One of those, I wouldn't drive that down real hard. It might puncture that heat pipe or something. It doesn't go very far in there. Any better than that other one, really. I could cut it. I would cut one of these oddball ones that don't really go to anything anymore, but they're not actually the right thread. They're the right size, but the wrong thread. At least that's the way it seems. Well, lose those things. Let's see. Yeah, those go. They fit. But they don't go real far, but they fit. Okay. This is not, you know, this is sheet metal, and if you jack up those threads, well, you jacked them up. You're not going to get any forgiveness there. You couldn't, there's not enough metal there to retap if you really were serious and wanted to do that. Okay, so this one here that I have, there's some cool things I saved out of some old electronics wire things. You do like that. I've used them and stuff. Okay, need to get this one and see. Oh, it's not even as long as the other one. It's, well, it might be more likely to do that. Okay, it's got a nut on it. It's a slot head, but I've got a screwdriver that might go in there. Well, one of those would go. So I'm gonna, it goes so far and gets tight. Let's not make it too hard. Let's see. So that nut, I'll screw it however far it'll go and it starts getting tight. And then do it the same way I did that other one. Screw it however far it goes before it gets tight, and see if this will go in there. Yeah, it fits in there just fine. If I can get that screw straight. And if I can do that, then that one raised up a lot. Maybe I'll try this other end this time. I don't think it really gonna, I'm not really feeling good about any of this. This is not, I think even if I get it on there, it's going to be, with one screw, I think the you know, everything, all fans and everything moving like that vibrates some, so I think I will have enough vibration to make it come loose. With one screw like that. But if I could get that in there, I can at least try it. That's what I was thinking. It doesn't go very far before it starts locking up. And of course the fan's loose, but there's a nut on it. And I can use it as a lock nut. Alright. See, yeah. See? But I mean, it doesn't have the nut drove down yet. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can turn it. It's turning, I think. I mean, I really can't get to it to turn it right properly. Screwdriver. I don't even think I can get, I've got some little bitty needle nose. Maybe I can snug it up. There we go. This is goofy. I don't normally do goofy stuff like this. Yeah, you can't turn it with save your life. So I'm just wasting time. I didn't, like I said, I didn't. It's just too. I'm sure at 501 and 104 degrees, it's just too hot for me to sit out there digging out screws. So yeah, it's 104 today. I hadn't noticed that. Dang, that's hot. Okay, so let's just see what it would do if I were to really put it on there. See, it's just hanging in the breeze. Put this like this. Oh, it's just hanging in the breeze completely. Oh, well, I did say, yeah, I keep forgetting that. See, there is the option of good old zip ties. Zip ties can do a lot. But with that one on there, then it keeps it kind of in the right area, and then I can put a zip tie across this way. 2 of them maybe. I can do them like this. So I could do one like through this thing and wrap it around, or just around the whole thing. If it's going to hit the fan blades, it probably won't. It's kind of sunk in. Maybe I'll do the zip tie thing. Let's just put it in there and see what it looks like. I think before I do all that, oh, I don't think it's going to fit with it. Always, the other one that was the right one, it was too close to the cables. I was always having trouble worrying about. I was worrying about the. I wonder if it'd go the other way, not with those. All that whole row of capacitors. I think it would fit either way. Let's find out. I mean, it's loose, so I can let it set up. Yeah, I can let it set up above the capacitors. Let's see. If it's going to let it go down, I can put it where I want to. The original one probably wouldn't. Well, actually, I don't think it would have stuck out in the way. But yeah, that's the only way it's going to even think about working is like that. But I think maybe this end is hitting and not letting it sit down good. And that would not cool right. I think. I can't tell. With the hard drive, it's hitting. Well, of course, I could move the hard drive to another slot. That's what's causing those IDE cables and everything to hit. I see the fan wouldn't even turn. It's hitting those cables. This is a lot thicker than the original. I don't think it sits flat. I wouldn't even really, I was going to just turn it on, you know, and test it again, but it doesn't even sit flat. I suppose I could zip tie it only. I'd be afraid it would move around too much. That at least keeps it in its general area. And then all you got to do is zip tie it. I forgot to get under the camera. Now what am I doing? Oh, okay. Yeah, see that the one screw would probably come loose in time though, because I couldn't get a hold of it to tighten the nut there. You could get through the screw head there, and then I tightened that nut down on it. But I used a screwdriver and just kept hitting it. I mean, it's really, really loose, obviously. And but zip ties would hold it together. Or I did want another one that way that didn't have any other way to do it. That did work. But that whole row of capacitors hit the fan. I mean, it fits in there. It looks like it could go either way. I mean, it was in there this way. But now that, and of course, the hard drive could go up in this one. Wouldn't really be enough of a move. But I could move. I could move the. There's an empty space in the top. I like to do that, because that way the air can come in. See, this little cover lets air go by it. I put one in there that was kind of, well, I put it in there because I like the looks of it, but also it let air go by it. So this whole area, instead of heat collecting up here all around definitely wouldn't want your hard drive up there in the heat. Keep it down lower in the case, you know. And this too, this CD drive, it doesn't need to be that hot either. So all that heat just can be getting air through here, plus it's setting up in here, and then this fan pulls it out. And see, there's not even a case fan here, so I figured that out a long time ago. Try to keep this bay empty if you can, and let it be a part of the cooling. There we go. Now it's sitting down pretty good. Oh, I just realized it hits the plug. See, I kept thinking I needed to put it in that other one over there, and now I see why. Usually when I get a hunch like that, I should stick with it. I changed because, but I mean, it's still, like I said, I can move the hard drive, but that cable has to be there, and it's just blocking the fan completely. But I could change it, but to the other, and then it would kick over that way, and not be hitting that cable. But yeah, that's why it turns when you set it down, because it's sitting there. But I didn't put any more heat paste on there until I was sure I was ready to put it back together. Of course, I could try, now those other CPU coolers, you can't plug them into this motherboard. I was going to say I could try to figure out how to maybe mount one of those other ones. I like this cooler, it's a good one. Okay, so I think I've done enough Southern Engineering for today to see that this batch of Southern Engineering ain't working. That's what we used to call it. But if you say Southern, and I'm just a Texan, I'm not a true Southerner, so if you say I'm doing Southern Engineering to a Southern guy, then they say, no, you're not. You can't do that. I had them do that before. Funny. Said, you don't know what Southern Engineering is. They were pretty proud of their hillbilly ways. Okay, well, they call it redneck. They didn't say that. When I was young, the days I'm talking about from, when I was young, redneck wasn't a cool thing, it was an insult. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that thought they're, proud to be a redneck, but redneck meant person that's always hard to get along with, always wanted to fight, always looking down on everybody else. That's what it meant when I was young, when I was growing up, when I was a young adult. It wasn't like fun. I mean, I figured it out, things change. So I get a kick out of those redneck videos and stuff. And what I get a kick out of is the Southern Engineering. Some of it's pretty ingenious. Hey, if it works, more power to you. Okay, so I especially like the ones where they stick a bathtub over a fire and make a hot tub out of it, a big old metal bathtub. And they made swim pools in the back of their pickup. I really got a kick out of those. Those things have been circulating the internet for a long time now. Now that thing's bent now. I better put it back. It was like that. I don't know why in the world they put it on there. I guess it's holding that fin in, but it was definitely. Well, I guess it's supposed to split the airflow. I don't know. Well, if it's pulling air in instead of pushing it, then maybe it's trying to pull cooler air. It wouldn't be cooler with all those capacitors. Maybe, it's to cool those capacitors, because it probably was a push, and it was directing air on those capacitors and everything to cool them down. I bet you that was, I mean, that's not an accident. That's not just some weird afterthought. And I've been it, because I was laying it down there trying to put those screws in it. So that's about how it was, like that. See, there's the heat pipes that are in there. I mean, there's a lot going on in that little cooler. I haven't seen that much going on in one, just a stock cooler before. And I've seen the other ones, the ones online, but I've never bought one because it costs more than I think they're worth for me. So I think the fan would suffice, but if I really want to get serious about mounting it, I'm going to get serious about going out in the garage and finding the screws I need and everything. And I'm tired and hungry now. I'm to that point where I'm tired enough, I don't care anymore. So it's time to quit, call it a day. My stomach's starting to feel bad from hunger. So I'll leave this one out. Leave these two out where I can get to them, because I went through all the rest of them. And yeah, as long as this ain't where it can be, I don't know where I'm going to put it, but as long as it don't get plugged in and ran, it won't burn up that thing. So Oh, I got to put all this stuff somewhere now. All this stuff. Left though, I can carry these out there and put them in the box I had them in before. That way, at least I'll probably remember, hopefully. This, I had it out thinking I was going to use it. I guess I'll put it up. If I don't put things back where they belong, I won't find them. There we go, put them in the toolbox. Okay, unfinished job, another unfinished job. You know, I guess I should break down and look online. I might find one for $2. Oh, well, I'm eating, I'll look, because I'll get this thing over here where I can measure it. Goofy. I just said I don't want to buy one, but you know, I said $5 or whatever, but you know, I kept looking till I found those 3 fans for $3 or something, or maybe $2. Yeah, I think it was $2.65 or $2.95. But I might be able to get, if I can find one. I mean, there's not that much difference in the quality anymore, so I don't care about the brands or anything. I just care about the reviews, really. But this one is the one that came off of it. If I could get one of that exact size and everything. Didn't even look at it. I assumed it was, yeah, 12 volts. I thought all the CPU coolers ran on 12 volts. So 12 volts, and that size. I don't have anything that measures foreign measurements, but Google couldn't figure it out for me. I know I'll have to figure that out. It's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I'm sure. Yeah, it's square. I know. I thought it was square. So whatever 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 is in millimeters or centimeters or whatever the heck they use. They're always going back and forth. All that stuff just means nothing to me. I kind of knew I knew 2 fan sizes, and now I can't remember them. The bigger ones, the case fans. I can't remember them now. I don't want to call them out because it'd just be so ridiculous. 0.65 amp. But yeah, I'll look them up. And I just remembered I actually need to order something. I was kind of planning on doing that this evening on Amazon. So, you know, if it's like $2, I just spend a lot more than $2 worth of aggravation and time, didn't I? Trying to make some goofy thing fit. I would do that, but I don't think I might change my mind. But I don't see paying $5 on this thing when I've got other machines on that do run. Unless, of course, it's the only one that's quiet enough and everything. And it is 2.5 gigahertz. That's a real plus for it. This is too dirty. I blew it out, but I don't even like, it's so dirty, I don't like handling it. Let's see if I can get any more off of it by just wiping it off. It was, of course, attached when I blew it out, so it didn't really come clean. All those blades are dirty. But, yeah, got quite a bit out of there. If I'm going to have it laying around here and me picking it up, I don't want it getting dust in my face, if I can help it. I didn't lubricate it or anything, but this thing is not easy to get out, and it runs 24/7, so I do not think that it would last long. You know, I mean, I can spray some WD-40 in it. It doesn't. I used to. It depends. Sometimes you can take them completely apart. Some of them recently I've tried to take apart and they didn't want. When you get them apart, it breaks them. Well, they got this little plastic keeper. If some of them lately, the ones I've been trying to take apart, the keeper breaks, and so you're done. You won't stay together anymore. That was one of them that I had over there, a note on it saying it came apart. But and of course I'm sure if you really tried, you could find those little plastic keepers. But I'm sure there'd be different diameters of shafts. So if you can get the ones that come with them on and off of there without breaking them, then you can. Because the thing is, if you just spray stuff in there, it might help for a little while and then it quits working again. But if you take them apart and clean them, Even if you just put WD-40 on something, roll up some paper towel and shove it in there and just rub it in and out in the hole. And then, of course, you'll see all the stuff that's stuck to the shaft of the fan. Usually it's connected to this part, the fan blade. And you can get it off with WD-40, maybe even a little bit of really like 320 sandpaper or something. You don't really want to scratch them up, because if you scratch them up, even with 320, if you don't have to, don't do it. If they don't have burrs on them or anything, Scotch-Brite's good for that. That's what I use, Scotch-Brite. It won't scratch them up, because if you scratch them up with sandpaper, it's just going to start digging into that bushing. They call them bearings with their bushings. Those brass bushings is what they are. A lot of people call them bearings. When you try to buy them, it depends on the manufacturer. They call them bearings. Bearings roll. Bearings have balls in them, or needle bearings, ball bearings. Those are bearings. Bushings, this is what I was taught growing up. All the old men when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s. When I was learning to work in the 70s, you know, that was it. So I noticed they don't really stick with that anymore. But anyway, yeah, I'll look. I should have done that to start with. Usually I do that. I usually look, but I had in my head, I don't want to buy anything for it, you know. Okay, so put it right there, I guess. But I do have to get all this stuff picked up and all that junk. I'll do that after. I'm going to eat first. I'm starving. I'll leave it all sitting right where it is and eat and then do it. Yeah. I'm going to get everything fall in here. Okay. Yeah. Well, we didn't get that. We didn't really finish anything, but you know, these giant projects I'm in the middle of, it's you're just lucky to get a good ways down the road, you know, not finished. I mean, I did get Fedora 28 on here, and I'm using it now. But yesterday I kept hearing, I've heard it before. That's the reason I finally thought, okay, I've been hearing that noise back and forth on and off. It's getting worse. And yesterday it just got real bad for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe longer. And then it would kind of quit, and then it would really just quieten down. Then I would get up there and I couldn't really hear it, just the normal kind of sounds. Better and worse, better and worse. Today it was the same or even worse. So I thought, man, I better get this thing down and look at it while I can. You know, I'm feeling up to it and everything. So complete side project from my, you know, reformatting on these other machines. So as soon as I can, after I get this straightened out one way or the other, I'll go look at my server. I just thought I'd look at my website before I take off. Then I'll get back to finishing up the. I've got a good. There's probably a few. I know there's at least one K-Syscart I don't think I got. I know I didn't get. There's probably some more of my favorite apps, and I got to thinking the other day when I was trying to let me find the history here. Yeah, Uptime Robot. Let's go to that. That'll tell me for sure. I went ahead and saved my password. I've been saving my passwords in this because I realized you don't have to turn on sync to save your passwords. So I haven't turned on sync yet. Okay, it's been up for 3 hours and 50 minutes, so it hasn't gone back down. Yeah, it hasn't gone back down. It's still been reachable. So I don't remember how often it checks now. It used to check like every 3 to 5 minutes, but it was. I got to thinking that's an awful lot of. That's a lot of bandwidth right there, you know, all day, like all night and all day. So I think I might have changed it to 30 minutes or something. It probably says in here somewhere. But anyway, okay, the website out in the garage, machine out in the garage, Gateway 500 is what I call it, the 500 megahertz Gateway Pentium 3. It's working as my backup server. I hope it's, I mean, I kind of looked at it. I didn't look around it a lot, but you know, I clicked on that's my newest album, and that worked. I do remember that works. That's how you can play the music. If you want to save the music, it's free to download them. Just right click on the links and say save as. And If you want a CD, then I'll put. I haven't even, if you want a CD, I'd have to make one. I don't have any right now, but if you wanted one, I would definitely get you one for $10. You'd have to. Well, you can order them through PayPal, but it's working. I mean, seems like it. There was a problem I had with, actually it turned out I couldn't find it for nothing, and you just randomly different links or different pages, you would get these pop-ups for games advertisements, and of course I never put anything like that on there. I finally figured out I had some counters on there from way back when I first built the site. Down at the bottom there were little counters, and I think they even didn't show up anymore, but the code was still there. It was some Java snippets pointing to a website with counters, you know, hit counters, and they had been taken over by some malware people, evidently, or game people. I don't know. I never did find out that it was malware, but they were definitely very pushy pop-up ads for their games. So I didn't like that on my site, and I'd like to never figured that out. But anyway, so I was trying to remember, did I get this cleaned up, this backup server, or did I forget about it? Looks like it's cleaned up. I don't see anything popping up. If you happen to see me talking about this and you get on there and you see something popping up, let me know. Put a comment on the video or something. And anyway, yeah, seems all right. So lots to do. I'm glad I went ahead and turned on the backup server, because now, see, it's going to be tomorrow, could be a couple of 3 days before I get it back up. I'm afraid that I got two problems. I think that hard drive's about ready to quit and the fan's bad. But right now, I'll just fix the fan, and then if the I mean, it hasn't been acting up. It's just been, I hear it more than I ever did before. But I've got a 250 gigabyte ID. It's really pretty old. It's throwing errors. Oh yeah, I want to get the fan straightened out, then I'll check that hard drive. I'll do benchmark tests on it and everything, see how it does. And I have that 30 gigabyte, which is really enough, I think, unless Fedora can't install on 30 gigabyte. I know if you let it, I did it once and it divided it up. It took like 10 or 15 gigabytes for the root partition, so there wasn't enough left to use. But used to, I don't know if you can do it in the newer 28, but you could go in there and do like a custom partitioning. I mean, I know you can do that, but it can get kind of hard. But anyway, you could just click a couple little boxes. You didn't have to do it all yourself. And you could say, just use, we could click like one box that said, just use, don't have separate root partitions and separate LVMs and all that. It would just use everything all in one partition. And that was okay. You know, it's not great, but for the server, all my website together, everything that is like 2 or 3 gigabyte, just need enough stuff. I saw the other day how much it was. I think it was 9 or 10 or 15 gigabytes minimum to install Fedora 28, so that would be okay. I don't need it. If I was I don't want to use it for backups. I don't want a bunch of personal files on there in case somebody breaks into the server sometime and I don't even know it. It'd be convenient to have it that way, to have your server be a web server and personal file backups. It's always running. You could just point everything to it and back it up, but it's just too big a security risk. I've never done that. So I try to keep the server out, the only thing that's facing the internet and isolated from everything else, from the most, other than whenever I need to get into it to do something. Anyway, so I'm going to go and eat my supper and all that sort of good stuff. I won't come back till tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.